Not already, but like I said, I was doing a summer fun for you guys to enjoy. And for our last show,
Hello and welcome to It's About You, a program about the Williamson County Parks and Recreation Department. I'm Debbie Sims and I'm filling in today for our regular host, Carrie Hudson. As we settle into the long, carefree days of summer, the Williamson County Parks and Recreation Department has many programs and special events planned for you and your family and friends to enjoy. Joining me for the first half of today's show is Whitney Osborne from the Fairview Recreation Complex, here to talk about our upcoming dive-in movie events. Hi, Whitney.
Hi.
Glad to have you here today.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Well, June is here, the sun is out, it's hot, and we're going to have two dive-in movie events. Now, what is a dive-in movie, just in general, in case people don't know?
Of course. It is a outdoor movie that is held at our outdoor pools. So we'll have a big blow-up screen, kids can come play in the pool, and we'll watch movies and just have a good time.
Now, the first one is scheduled at Fairview,
Yes.
right? And what is the date of that event?
It is Friday, June 20th.
Okay. Now, on the night of a dive-in movie, our outdoor pool is closed to the public, and only those folks who are planning to come for the dive-in movie event are allowed to enter the pool area.
Correct.
So it's kind of a reserved, it's kind of a private pool party.
It is.
Yeah. Now, you've had these before at Fairview. About how many people did you have last year?
Last year was our first year, and it was a huge success. We had just over 100 people there and participants, so it was
Wow.
good turnout.
Great. So people in Fairview who may have never been to the outdoor pool, which is open about 3 months of the year, about 12 weeks, I think, might want to invite their neighbors, new neighbors, bring the kids, and come on down. Now, when you show a dive-in movie, people can float around in the pool on pool noodles. Is that right?
Correct.
Now, you're going to provide some of those this year?
Yes, lifeguards will have a stash of pool noodles for those that don't bring a raft or noodles.
So normally we don't allow rafts in the water.
Correct.
Because of safety reasons. They tend to obscure people and the lifeguards can't see them. But a pool noodle is a great solution.
Yes.
So on a hot summer night you could float around the pool. Tell me about some of the other things that are going to be going on at the dive-in movie.
We'll have concessions there, so we'll have popcorn, nachos, popsicles, sodas, and waters for everybody, and keep them hydrated through the movie. Typically, first 30 minutes or so while the sun's setting, kids will be able to play around in the pool. Parents lounge on the deck and just talk. About 8 the sun sets, and that's when we'll kickstart the movie.
So the gates open at 7:30.
Yes.
Okay, and then the movie will start at dark.
Yeah.
About 8 o'clock. Now, to make a reservation to come there is a call to the Fairview Rec Center?
Yes, you can call the rec center front office, and they'll be able to take your registration. You can come in person, whatever works best.
Now, there's a small fee for the event of $6 per person.
Correct.
And what age and under are admitted free?
3 and under are admitted free.
Okay. So get the family together and call and let them know. Now, the movie you're going to watch this year is what?
Hook.
Hook, starring Dustin Hoffman,
Robin
right?
Williams, yeah.
Yeah.
Julia Roberts, great 90s classic.
Great. That's a fun movie.
It
I
is.
think we were talking earlier, I think my kids watched it about 100 times.
It is a good one. And we figured, for the parents it would be great, remind them of, the 90s, younger days, but then also the younger kids probably haven't seen it, so to them it's a new film. So
That's true. And it's a great production, and if you love pirates and a little bit of comedy and swashbuckling, Robin Williams, of course, is reluctantly a grown-up, I think, in the movie because he left Neverland, and unlike the boys who stayed there, he grew up and became a very stuffy corporate executive. And so when he goes back, he has to regain his childhood. Yeah, and all the classic characters are there, Hook and Wendy and so forth. Now, let's talk a little bit about the regular use of the Fairview pool as well. It's a great asset to that area. It's the only public swimming pool in the Fairview vicinity, and you get a lot of folks from all over that area.
correct.
Right.
Yes.
I would assume you probably reach into some of the other counties as well.
Definitely.
Now, the pool is typically open 10 to 6. Monday.
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
And admission to that pool is included if you have an annual pass. What are the other ways a family could go and just use the Fairview pool on a regular basis?
It's also included in the visit passes as well as you can buy just a pool pass for the summer. And then, of course, the general admission walk-in fee of $3.
Okay, and it's open Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, 10 to 6, and then Tuesday, Thursday, 10 to 8, and Sunday, 10 to 7. Now, a lot of our Fairview regulars will see some new faces out there because every year we bring on a number of lifeguards, and we are very careful about the safety at our pools. What are some of the rules that people should remember, especially when they bring small children?
Definitely want to be sure that if they're not strong swimmers, we have a zero entrance for the pool. So that's always a great area for the small kids that aren't strong swimmers. Always bring your floaties, arm floaties, and things like that for small kids. Of course, got to have your swim diapers too.
Swim diapers are a necessity. And a zero entry means it's kind of like a beach. It starts out flat and then gradually goes forward. And when I've gone to the zero entry pools that we have at Fairview and Longview, it looks like the beach because they're in the shallow water sit the mom and the kids with their buckets. And there's no sand, but they have a big time just splashing in the water and so forth. If the children aren't strong swimmers, the Fairview Center is offering group swim lessons as they do every summer. There will be a session in June, 2 sessions in June. The next one starts June 9 through 12, and then there'll be 2 later on, June 16 through 19 and 23 through 26. So basically every week in June.
Yes.
Okay. And those are taught by our staff.
Correct.
Are they not?
Yes, by our lifeguards typically.
Okay. And the swim lessons usually occur
before the pool opens.
Okay. So early in the morning, and I would highly recommend, and wouldn't you, that every child get exposed to the water by another adult other than a mom or dad.
Definitely.
I think it
helps.
makes a difference.
It does.
What you'll do for mom and dad is not necessarily what you would do for a teacher. And teachers know what safety skills a child needs in the water. The next registration period will be on June 11 at noon at the pool office outside. And we have our instructor there with the schedules for the 2 weeks for the 2-week session that's occurring in that part of June. So the next opportunity, if you want to get some swim lessons in Fairview this year, would be to go on June 11th at the pool. Now, Fairview's not the only center that we have that's doing the dive-in movie.
Correct.
We also have those down at our Longview Recreation Center in Spring Hill. And they're also going to be showing Hook. Now, the date of theirs is what?
Saturday, June 21st. So following day.
Okay, so Fairview is the 20th, and Spring Hill Longview Center is the 21st. That's a very crowded pool all summer long down there. That event is very popular, and again, many people in the Spring Hill area frequent that pool every day. It's also a zero entry, and it has an interesting water feature in the middle. It's kind of a quadruple slide with a fort. Yeah. So if you haven't seen the Longview pool, some of our viewers who might live in the southern part of the county might want to go to the dive-in movie night. It'd be a great introduction to the pool. Now at Longview, the cost again is $6 a person, right? And they'll also be providing some snacks. And to register for that, they have to call the Longview Center.
Correct.
At 302-0971, and they have a couple of sponsors down there that are making the event possible. They're Elite Physical Therapy, the Children's Academy, and Sports Clips. Now, out at Fairview, let's go back to your Fairview event for a minute because we don't want to miss our sponsor there.
Yes.
Our sponsor at Fairview
is MAPCO.
MAPCO, okay. MAPCO will be providing part of the refreshments that night, and again, I encourage people who are interested in going to the Fairview Dive-In movie to call 799-9331, extension 2310, and make your reservation now. There is a limited number of people that can fit in the pool, and we'd love to exceed that, wouldn't we?
Yes.
Yeah. That Fairview event is Friday, June 20th, and so call and get your family on the list now. And then the one in Longview in Spring Hill is Saturday, June 21st. Whitney, I appreciate you being here today, and I hope everybody enjoys Hook.
Yes.
Even though we know who wins in the end, we love to see a great pirate
Definitely.
fight, don't we?
Yes.
It's a lot of fun, and I hope our viewers will call today and sign up for the Dive-In movie night, either at the Fairview Complex on the 20th or the Spring Hill Longview Recreation Center on the 21st. I thank you for watching this segment about our Dive-In movie events this summer, and I hope you'll be frequenting our pools. We'll be back in a moment with part 2 of our program.
Welcome to Poets from the Neighborhood. I'm Louise Collin,
And I'm George Spain.
and we're going to read you some poetry by your friends and neighbors.
The Smell of Leather by Sherry Page. I remember this smell of leather the first time a dank day stilled us after a long run. Trees were high and bright as flags waving. Faces glistened from the teamed effort to get to this rise on the land. Lungs filled with sweet breathing, a kind that only happens here. Great hearts beneath us sorting out, and their pleasure to be so alive. I remember as turkey buzzards graced the blue above like angel kites, you turning to whisper, God is in this place, and we knew we followed more than foxes.
At First Light by Gail Bunton Haddock. The drive on the far side of the frosty field leads away straight and deep to the nestled house, still sleeping in the hushed chill of the breaking light.
If melody is nourishment, harmony is healing, by Amy E. Hall. Do you ever wish you could drink music, first in soft sips, then steady swallows, and at times greedy gulps? I need constant installments, like doses of medicine, carefully measured out by the hours, days, and weeks of the month. It moves me like the majesty of a mountain, the splendor of a sunrise, the openness of an ocean, like the moment you know that you're home.
Baby, Baby Mine by Susie Margaret Ross. In the Waffle House, I listened to the jukebox and ate my waffles. They were doubles with pecans and that sweet, sticky syrup. Baby, baby mine, the singer was calling. Please, please come home. Too late, I murmured and gobbled up my bacon. Thank you for being with us today.
Hello and welcome back to It's About You, a show about the Williamson County Parks and Recreation Department. And my guest for this half of the show is Janey Mason. Hi, Janey.
Hi.
Glad to have you here. One of Janey's main jobs at Williamson County Parks and Recreation is working with our Williamson County Community Band. Mm-hmm. And in case you don't know, in case our viewers may not know, tell us who's in the Williamson County Community Band.
It's a group of all volunteer musicians from Williamson County and the surrounding areas. There are about 55 to 60 members, and they rehearse weekly. But the band started about 14 years ago by a man named Mr. Ken Krause, and he's currently our band director. He brought the idea to the Parks Department, and it's really just grown from about 10 people up to nearly 60 over the years.
Oh, I've seen it in action, and it's lots of fun to watch the band, and it's lots of fun to see so many great local musicians. And we're not talking about professionals, though there may be some that had done music in their careers. We're talking about people who used to play the flute in the high school band and still love music, and we're talking about all ages of people. I've
Yes.
seen everyone from teenagers to seniors in our band. They practice regularly in the preseason.
They do.
At Franklin High School. Now, does that continue during the year?
It does.
Okay.
Practices begin in February, as you said, and they have a couple months of rehearsal before their first concert. And then they continue practicing all the way through November until their last concert of the season.
Okay, and they would welcome anyone who's interested in finding out more to come by Franklin High School's band room on a Thursday night.
That's right. Thursday nights at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
You drive around to the back of Franklin High School and you'll find the band room there, and just come on in there. Everyone in the band is very welcoming to any new members that are interested, and we'd be glad to have you.
They are. They're fun to be around, and I'm amazed at some of the cases they carry in when we have a band performance.
Yeah.
It's like a caravan of cars pulling
Yeah.
up and toting a lot of equipment. So it's not a simple process by
No.
any means to have a traveling band, so to speak.
Yeah.
And they do travel all over the county. They already had a performance this summer in Aspen Grove Park, which is off Seaboard Lane, which in cooperation with the City of Franklin we're able to use. And it has a nice little amphitheater area and a place for the band to set up.
Yeah.
And we often have concerts outside at our facilities, behind the Franklin Rec Center, and then we have them inside some. Which of our recreation facilities have we had concerts in?
We've had concerts inside the Longview Recreation Center. We use the College Grove Auditorium on the south end of the county periodically. It's a great performance venue. The Brentwood Library is gracious enough to let us use their facility twice during the season, and it's always a
Right.
very popular venue on the north end of the county.
And the band just appeared in their annual appearance at Memorial Park, which is a little area at 5 Points in Franklin for the veterans who have served this county. And the band performs there every year. So that's, if you saw a band that day, if you happen to be at Memorial Day, that was our community band. And Mr. Krause is a wonderful guy. He has such a long history of his career has spanned playing instruments for the St. Louis Muni Opera. He's played with he played in the band for Hello Dolly with
He did.
Sword Pearl Bailey, and he's been in academics and taught music. And what instrument does he play? Do you know?
He's actually a percussionist.
Okay.
So, and he has had quite a career over the decades. He started in education, and then he was part of the Atlanta Symphony. He was part of the Atlanta Pops Orchestra. He played with the Nashville Symphony. He has taught with a couple of different universities, and he's toured with some famous musicians as well. So he's really he's really a musical treasure.
He is. And I'm going to have to ask him to play the drums for me sometime. Now that I know, I'm going to have to say, look, now, why don't you get back there and try those drums?
And
Yeah. They have a great percussionist in the band. I love her. She's wonderful. The band is a real treasure for the community because they do all this free. They do it just because they like music.
Right.
Coming up, we have a couple of performances we want to mention. On Saturday, June the 28th at 6:30, they'll be going to Harpeth Hills Church of Christ again. Now tell us what they do there each year.
Harpeth Hills Church each year, close to the 4th of July, they hold a big patriotic celebration. The band plays. They invite our band to play with them every year, so that's always an honor to get to play there. They have free ice cream. They have fireworks. It's just a fun evening for the whole family to come out.
And they host it, and it's open to the community.
It is.
It's free, and I know that they're on Old Hickory Boulevard.
They are.
Okay, so you just go up Hillsboro North and on Hillsboro and turn
Yes.
right on Old Hickory, and you'll see it there. You'll see the crowd.
You will.
And the free ice cream is always a big draw.
And it's always a huge crowd. So.
And this year they're having it before the 4th on Saturday, June 28th at 6:30 at Harpeth Hills Church of Christ. Just show up. Bring a chair or a blanket to sit on. And then on Tuesday, July the 8th at 7 o'clock, something very special will happen again. We started this a few years ago, having an annual band concert and fundraiser for the community band at the Franklin Theater. Now, why is this one different than all the other performances they do every summer, so to speak?
This, the concert at the Franklin Theater is the only concert that we charge admission to, and all the proceeds from this go directly back to support the band with expenses that they incur throughout the season. And it is such a special venue to play, and it's really a great night of music.
Well, I've been to both of the ones we've had before. To go to the Franklin Theater is an experience in itself, and to know that your money is going to support the band's expenses, which people might say, what expenses would a band have if they're all volunteers? Well, there are battery packs, there are lights, there are music stands, there are the rights to the music, paying royalties to use those selections. Having a copy for every person in the band is an expense. So there are minor expenses, and the ticket prices are quite reasonable for that Franklin Theater event. They're going to range from $12 to $22 this year.
Right.
And that depends on where you sit. And the band members' families usually buy the expensive tickets and take up all the tables down front, so there'll be quite a battle for that. Do we know when those might go on sale?
They are on sale now.
Okay.
And you go directly to the Franklin Theater's website or to their box office to purchase those tickets.
So at franklintheater.com, you can
Yes.
go there and choose a seat, just like you do for any other Franklin Theater event. Now that night, the band will perform, the entire band will perform, and also one of their smaller groups that was an outgrowth of the band called 5 Point Swing.
Right.
Now tell me a little bit about 5 Point Swing, about how many members they have and what's their specialty.
Right. 5 Point Swing, they are a 20-piece big band, and they play big band music. A lot of the members, they met each other through playing in our community band, and they've kind of branched off into their own organization, and they're really making a name for themselves in the area among the big band musicians.
Now they do some of their own appearances away from the band.
They do.
Sometimes they perform with them, and some of the members, some people are in both.
Right.
I know, and I love to be at work late on Monday night because the 5 Point Swing practices in the Franklin Rec Center where my office is, and I love that music. It's Glenn Miller. It's In the Mood, and you can't help but tap your feet. It's String of Pearls. It's all those classics. Moonlight Serenade. They do a number of other songs from that era. They've been hired to do dances. They've been hired to do weddings and that kind of thing. So when they perform with us, they're usually it's a free concert, and there will be a chance to see them free later in the summer at another event. But at the Franklin Theater, like we said, it's our little annual fundraiser. We've sold it out every year. In fact, I'm going to have to get on there and get some tickets when I get back to the office because I didn't realize they were already on sale. So I urge people who want to go to that Franklin Theater event that it's not like an open park. There is a limit to the number of people. I think it's 350 or so that even fit in that theater. So we've sold it out the last 2 years. So go to www.franklintheater.com and know that all the proceeds from that concert will go to support that band. As I mentioned, there'll be some more concerts throughout the summer. What's coming up after that Franklin Theater event on July 8th?
Our next one will be an outdoor concert at Aspen Grove Park again, so thanks to the City of Franklin for allowing us to use that wonderful venue. That's Saturday, July 26th, and it's at 6:30 in the evening, so it's a good time of day to pack a picnic dinner and bring your lawn chairs or your blankets and come out to the park and enjoy a summer night of music.
That's a great venue because it's not a huge park, but it's big enough that it provides a great lawn area for people to bring their chairs and blankets and their coolers if they want to have a dinner, like you said. There are also restrooms on the premises. There is some covered areas. There's shade.
There is shade.
Which is nice, and I think it's great fun. So if people want to pack a sandwich or pick up a couple sandwiches around the corner, Aspen Grove Park is located on Seaboard Lane, which is just behind the McAllister's restaurant. It's basically, if you're coming down Cool Springs Boulevard, go turn it. Aspen Grove Drive is the one that comes through right there by McAllister's. That may be a good landmark for people. And we'd love to see them on the 26th. And then on the August 17th, the band will be going back to the Brentwood Library.
Yes.
Now, is that indoors?
That is indoors, and that's always a favorite venue for people in that area. We usually fill up our space there with spectators.
That's great. And it's nice to know in August, in
hot.
the afternoon, it's hot. So you're going to be nice and cool inside the Brentwood Library. And we welcome kids and people of all ages at these concerts. It's one thing that kind of brings everybody together. Music kind of transcends the age level, even though it might be from the 40s, and you may recognize it as a senior. Your grandchildren may never have heard it before, and they'll be fascinated that probably you used to know that song.
Yeah.
Now, the 5 Point Swing group that we spoke of earlier does strictly the big band dance music. They'll be performing at a College Grove Artsatorium, which you mentioned earlier. Now, that is a fabulous old facility, a historic facility in College Grove that people may not know about, and it's worth a drive out there on a Saturday afternoon. They're going to do a Saturday, August 23rd concert at night in that Artsatorium.
Yes.
Tell me about that building a little bit.
It several years ago, it was actually slated to be destroyed. It was going to be torn down, and some people in the community rallied together and they raised enough funds to actually renovate the whole building. So it is it's the old auditorium from the College Grove School, and it's beautiful on the inside. It's very original to the period that it was built, and it's a great performance venue.
It was, I believe, beautifully restored by a grassroots group in College Grove. Raised the money a few years ago to save that facility. And if you're in College Grove, you know where it is.
Right.
But if you don't, there's one central area there that it contains the Artsatorium, which looks a little bit like a gymnasium, sitting in front of the rec center, the library, and the elementary school. They're all right there together in College Grove. And it would be fun to drive down there for a swing band performance, I think, that night. I'd love to see it again. I've seen it once, but it's got that great Art Deco lettering out front, and it's not open all the time.
No.
So it's a treasure, and it can be opened and utilized, and Williamson County Parks and Recreation manages it, and we've used it for other things over the years too, but it's nice to know the band's going to be down there.
Yeah, it's always a fun night.
Well, I appreciate you coming and telling us all about the Williamson County Community Band today, and I'd like to mention some other issues and things that people need to know this summer. As far as outdoor pool passes go, our pools are now open, and Williamson County Parks and Recreation is selling outdoor pool passes at our locations in Fairview, Franklin, and Spring Hill. An outdoor pool pass would entitle an individual or a family to unlimited access of the outdoor pools and the indoor amenities at those facilities during the season, which runs through August 31st. Passes are on sale now and through June 14th. They're just $120 for county residents and $140 for out of county. Now, after June 14th, the prices do increase to $140 and $280. So I encourage you to look into the pools. They're wonderful. Come try them out. We also offer general admission prices. You can bring the whole family there and cool off in this hot summer weather. Our pools are open Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Tuesday and Thursdays from 10 to 8, and Sundays from 10 to 6. That's through August 7th. And on July the 4th, our indoor facilities are closed for Independence Day, but the outdoor pools will be open from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. only at those three facilities I mentioned, Franklin, Spring Hill, and Fairview. So I encourage you to come out. There's a lot going on this summer. Be it a dive-in movie at Fairview and another one at Longview, or a community band concert, or just come swim in our pools and cool off in the hot weather. I thank you for watching, and I hope you'll come back next time to learn more about Williamson County Parks and Recreation.